We are here in the small sleepy village of Ballinalee in County Longford, and we are visiting the grave of a famous IRA general during the War of Independence, and that is Seán Mac Eoin. He led the Longford IRA flying column and was involved in a number of ambushes around this area, and also the temporary capture of Ballinalee village, which was held for a number of hours, I think, or a couple of days, by the IRA against British forces. And he grew up near Ballinalee, but he had a blacksmith and a forge here, and it became his home place. But he was captured then in Mullingar by the British, and he was sentenced to death. And Michael Collins attempted to break him out of Mountjoy prison with help from the squad and an armoured car, but they were unsuccessful. But during that time then the treaty negotiations began, and Michael Collins threatened to call off the treaty negotiations if Mac Eoin and other people were not released. So Seán Mac Eoin then was also rumoured he was going to be the best man for Michael Collins and Kitty Kiernan's wedding, which obviously never took place. But he lived to the old age of 79. He was a TD, a Minister of Justice and Minister of Defence for different periods, and he passed away in 1973. This is his grave. Lord grant eternal rest to the soul of Lieutenant General Seán Mac Eoin, soldier and statesman, who died on the 7th of July 1973, and his wife Alice, who died on the 16th of February 1985. So you usually don't hear too much about the IRA outside of Dublin and Cork, but there were places where it was active. And Seán Mac Eoin, I actually didn't know much about him until reading a couple of books recently about the squad. So I'd like to learn a little bit more about him, but he was one of the country leaders in rural Ireland. So this is in County Longford, and we'll take a small walk through Ballinalee village now in a minute. So I don't know anything about this village or this town, so we'll take a walk up to the village. I saw there was a statue of Seán Mac Eoin in the centre of the village. I was going to take a walk, going to visit this church directly in front, but because it looks quite old and quite nice, but then I forgot it's Sunday morning, so Mass will be on, so I won't be going in with a camera in there, but we'll take a walk down into the village. So we're in very rural County Roscommon, or County Longford. So Seán Mac Eoin I didn't know much about, but he was a blacksmith, and yeah, he led the IRA flying columns. And I was just reading, in fairness, it was a quick Wikipedia search, but the little village of Ballinalee, which we'll be walking into, he, along with other men, took over the village and held it against British forces. And now I don't know if it was for a couple of hours or a couple of days, but during the War of Independence. So he was obviously pretty good at guerrilla warfare and leading his men, which is why he also had the title of Lieutenant General. Now I don't know if that title came from the Free State, from his time in the Free State, or while he was fighting. For example, General Tom Barry, he never fought for the Free State, but he still had the rank of general. So the IRA at the time, it was a bit disorganised, so I'm not sure how they ranked, but I think it was just out of respect. So this is the village that Seán Mac Eoin grew up in. Now, while walking through the village, I'll have a quick search. So from what I could find, he was, he joined the Gaelic League and was later sworn in to the Irish Republican Brotherhood. And then he later, one second, I'm sorry, I'm reading this now. He joined the United Irish League in 1908, and 1913 he joined the Irish Volunteers, and then shortly afterwards the Irish Republican Brotherhood. And then so a lot of his attacks were around Granard, which is close by here, and it was on the 4th of November that they held the town. So the British were planning to actually burn this town, but this was stopped by Seán Mac Eoin and his men, and then they held off the British for a period of time. It's a sleepy little village on Sunday morning, so there's not a whole lot happening. But it was places like this that the IRA were always strongest because, and that's even going into the Troubles, because of the small community, family links and family ties to the area. So people were able to operate and not be worried about people telling on them or people letting out information. And also if somebody was injured or attacked, usually people would be friends with the people who were attacked. So I hate walking through villages like this with the camera, because even now people are looking at you, but it's a very quiet little village. So you got your standard 2 pubs and a takeaway. So it says Granard there in the signpost, 12 kilometres away, and that's where a lot of attacks took place from what I was reading. But here is the statue of Seán Mac Eoin in his village. So, and there is the Blacksmith of Ballinalee. Or Ballinalee, sorry, I was saying the name wrong. Blacksmith of Ballinalee, and then also they are obviously local men who fought and possibly died during the War of Independence. So Seamus Mac Eoin, probably a brother or a cousin. And in memory of the people from North Longford who served in the Irish Volunteers, IRA, Cumann na mBan, and all who died in the period 1913 to 1923. And then over here you have the North Longford Rebel Tour. So we are at number 9. So General Seán Mac Eoin. Number 8 is the Clongfin Memorial. Connolly Barracks. Land War Memorial. 1798 Battle of Ballinalee. Moyne, Portal Tomb, Dolmen. Number 5. And Edwardstown. Maybe we'll go to the Clonfin Memorial. So this was an area that was active for at least a little while during the War of Independence. And then we have a little information here for Seán Mac Eoin, St. John's Church. I think that's where we just were. Church of Ireland Church. Well, maybe he was a Church of Ireland member. So the Clonfin ambush was well known because after the men were injured, Seán Mac Eoin actually ordered his men to take care of the injured, so that like the injured auxiliaries. So he kind of got some praise from British forces for that act. But and then we were just a little thatched pub, I think, and out to Longford town. But that's it, just a little short walkthrough of Ballinalee.